So when I got home that day, I told my mum what I had done.
Huh?
When I got home that day, I told my mum what I had done, and she said, "Okay, I'll look for some books for him."
Yes.
And then the next day, I went to school. And
That's very good. You are, with the grace of Allah, very successful preacher, mashallah. Huh?
Next day when I went to school, I started to tell him a bit more, and then he said, "I'm sorry, but I do accept your religion, but the problem is it's too strict."
Yes, it would appear to be a very great problem to these people who have been brought up in such lax, permissive society. So it is difficult indeed, but you tell him that it's very peaceful as well. It's a give and take policy which applies to every human situation. You can't take all, you have to give up something. So some restrictions will have to be imposed for the sake of some better qualities of higher value. So you start speaking to him in these terms and tell him that our homes are so nice and peaceful and wonderful, and don't feel restriction, because we acquired the taste for this life. And now, having done that, we can compare it with your life and find it better. So in this way, you gradually persuade him, inshallah he will come to him, begin to see your point right.
Thank you.
So, yes, you can come now.
I want to get back to the first question, if you don't mind, about the...
I won't mind, I'm here to answer questions anyway.
About the early universe.
I received your letter, by the way, in which you mentioned four persons under your preaching, huh?
5 people.
Five, yes, that's right. And 2 of them have been here, or 3?
Yes, that's right.
2 of them have been here. And the rest have not yet come to the mosque?
No, they're fairly new.
Bring them sometime.
Yes,
another group, I mean.
I'll try and bring them
Right,
next month, if that's possible.
But the one you have mentioned, the musician, right from the start his attitude has been very, very gentle and understanding, and he is the right sort of person to accept Islam. So continue working on him.
So actually, as you mentioned, I'm going to his place tomorrow. Going to stay at his place overnight.
Huh?
I'm going to visit him tomorrow and stay at his place overnight.
Right. All right. Now let's go back to your first question.
It's, you meant about the early universe and the Big Bang. Some of the attributes of God are, He's self-existing and self-sufficient, and He is one. From a scientific angle, there's only a certain way we can go back mathematically to the universe, about 10 to the minus 40 seconds or so, and before that we don't really know, we can only conjecture. It's always interested me that from a purely philosophical, theological angle, can it really be that the universe absolutely disappears completely and there's nothing left except God, nothing except God?
Well, what happens is, according to the Holy Quran, the process of creation and wiping up it up ultimately is not a happening which just occurs once. It's not a solitary occurrence. It continues a chain of such things. And the Holy Quran exactly mentions it where it mentions the first creation and then wiping it up completely, rolling up and finishing with it. And the moment the Holy Quran describes this whole phenomena, suddenly it says, as we first created, so we are going to repeat it. So that means there is a continuing rolling up and unrolling of the whole process, which will never end. So this is why, although there are two theories about the expanding universe, I incline to accept one and reject the other on the basis of this claim of the Holy Quran. There is one theory which tells us that the expanding universe would continue to expand until it's impossible for it ever to come back to its original size or start contracting again. Because they believe the mass of the universe is not enough to retreat its steps, with the result that once the universe has expanded beyond a certain limit, then the process of its coming back to its center would be irreversible. I mean, that process can never take place, because the mass as known to them is too small as compared to the forces required for that contraction. Now they have discovered, the second theory is, this is the one I have rejected because the Holy Quran tells us this process is going to be repeated. The second theory is that now they have already discovered dark mass, which previously remained unnoticed, and the size and volume of this dark mass is much greater than the luminous mass. So this hidden mass is now being discovered everywhere, and bringing that into account, the theory is that this universe is going to contract once again, because there is enough pull from within of that mass which will restart the process all over again. And already more and more black holes are appearing or expanding their strength, their power to attract, though squeezing upon themselves as well at the same time. So they ultimately can create so many hazards for this mass that the inward forces of attraction would become too overwhelming for the expanding universe, and that may be attracted back, and the same process may begin all together or all over again. That is, كانت إن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما. They were in the shape of a tightly rolled sewn up ball which would not release anything. Then we what do you say?
Cleaved it asunder.
No, what the word is? Cleave. That's the word I was searching for. We cleft it asunder is the third, cleaved it. Cleaved. Past is cleaved, not cleft. Cleft is the third past participle? All right, yes. So the Holy Quran tells us that then we cleaved it asunder, and then the process of creation began. And the second part, which deals with the same subject, deals from the second stage. And it says that then everything became a sort of shapeless cloud. And then the process of contraction began. First, the process of expansion by releasing that stored up energy, and then the second process began through the condensation of these clouds of energy. And this is exactly what happened according to the scientific observations. Exactly so. On these two things there are no two opinions. Other theories may differ with each other, but not on this fundamental theory that this is exactly how we came into being. The universe came into being. Then at the third stage, the Holy Quran tells us that in السماوات والأرض, what's the verse? في قبضة, वो कहाँ है हमारे हाफिज साहब? في قبضته والسماوات مطويات بيمينه والسماوات مطويات بيمينه. That is the one. The first part